There is someone who loves you in a way words cannot explain. And now this person has decided to prove it, not with promises, not with empty gestures, but in a way that will truly touch you. Are you ready to experience something that could change everything between you? You know that kind of love that doesn't need to be explained, just felt? That's what's about to happen to you. But don't be mistaken, it won't be something common or predictable. This person made a decision. It wasn't a fleeting impulse or a superficial idea. It was something that matured within them, day after day, while they watched you. Maybe you never noticed, but every detail about you, the way you speak, how you smile, or even the weaknesses you try to hide, became a piece of a bigger puzzle inside them. And now, all those pieces are about to come together. It's not just about saying I love you. Words are easy. Shouting from the rooftops is simple. But what they want to do goes beyond that. It's about showing you. Showing in a way that you'll never forget. That it becomes a memory you will carry forever. And at the same time, it's a huge risk. Because loving so deeply, so openly, is also a form of exposing oneself. They know that. But they are willing to take the risk because you are worth it. Maybe you're wondering now, why are they doing this? Why now? The truth is, some things don't have a logical explanation. Sometimes a person's heart simply overflows, and it can no longer be contained. It's as if they feel that if they don't act now, they will lose the chance to make you see everything they carry inside. Because even if you already know you are loved, they want you to feel it in such an intense way that there is no doubt left. Not for you nor for them. And this can be uncomfortable. Not because of what will happen, but because of what it demands of you. Because when someone loves like this, you are placed in a position where you need to face what you feel, without masks, without filters. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to look into the eyes of someone who loves you so much and, perhaps for the first time, understand what that truly means? She doesn't want anything in return. She just wants you to know. And that's the most beautiful part, and at the same time the scariest, because the gesture that is being prepared has no hidden agenda. It's not an attempt to impress you, nor a form of emotional manipulation. It's not about asking for something or expecting something from you. It's simply a gift that comes from the heart, without ulterior motives. But that doesn't mean it's easy for her. Quite the opposite. Those who truly love know how difficult it is to expose themselves like this. Opening the doors of the heart, with no guarantee of how it will be received, is one of the greatest acts of courage that exist. And still, she is willing to do it. For you. Maybe you think you know what's coming. Maybe you're imagining something grand, like those scenes from romantic movies where everything is exaggerated, full of perfect speeches and flashy gestures. But the truth is that real love rarely looks like that. Real love is in the details, in the things that at first glance may seem small, but carry deep meaning. When it happens, you will know. You might be distracted, caught up in the routine, or even lost in your own thoughts. And suddenly it will happen. There will be no prior warning, no time to prepare. This gesture will catch you by surprise, but in a way that will feel right. As if somewhere inside you, you already knew it was coming. And at that moment, something will change. Maybe not immediately. Maybe you won't even be able to put into words what you feel. But deep down, you will realize that something has broken. Not in the sense of something being destroyed, but as if a barrier has been knocked down. A barrier you didn't even know existed. And in its place, there will be room for something new. Something more true, because love, when it is so genuine, has this power. It transforms. It makes us look at ourselves and at the other person in a completely different way. And that's exactly what is about to happen to you. You can try to resist, but you won't succeed. Maybe you feel afraid. It's normal. Love, especially when it is so pure, has the capacity to throw us off balance. It challenges us to let go of control, to make ourselves vulnerable. And for some people that is terrifying. Maybe you are one of those people. Maybe you have learned over the course of your life to build walls around yourself, to protect yourself, and until now that might have worked. But when true love comes into the picture, those walls begin to crumble. And you can try to fight against it. You can try to convince yourself that it isn't that important. You can try to minimize what you feel, but deep down you know it's pointless. Because when someone truly loves us in such a deep and sincere way, there's no escaping it. It's as if that love finds a direct path to our heart, without asking for permission, without knocking on the door. And maybe you don't need to do anything. Maybe the only thing expected of you is to feel, to let that love reach you without resisting, without trying to control it, without fear. Are you ready for this? This is the lingering question, because although love is something everyone desires, not everyone is prepared to receive it. Receiving true love requires courage. It requires you to allow yourself to be loved exactly as you are, with all your flaws, insecurities, and imperfections. And sometimes that is more difficult than it seems. But here's the main point. You don't need to be 100% ready. No one ever is. The important thing is that you are willing to open your heart, even if just a little. Because love does the rest. It finds a way to get in, even through the smallest cracks. And this person who is about to show you how much they love you believes in you. They believe you are capable of feeling it, of receiving it. And more than that, they believe you deserve it. That you deserve to be loved in such a pure, profound way that words will never be enough to describe it. So when that moment comes and it is closer than you think, remember this. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be you. And that is already more than enough. When that moment comes, it won't be about what you expected. It will be about what you need. Have you ever stopped to think about how sometimes love arrives in ways we are not ready to understand? It's as if it knows the things we can't even admit to ourselves. As if it sees beyond the surface, beyond the barriers we construct. And maybe that's why it disarms us so much. Because true love, the kind that doesn't demand and doesn't require, isn't something that fits into our plans. It comes to transform. This person who is about to act, yes, act, because what comes next goes beyond words, doesn't just want you to know how she feels. She wants you to feel it, and not in a superficial or momentary way. She wants to touch something inside you that maybe even you don't know is there, because she believes this love has the power to open doors you have kept closed for far too long. And deep down, she is right. Love has this strength. It makes us see things that were previously out of reach or that we pretended not to see. But for this to happen, you need to be willing to allow it. You need to let it reach you, without trying to block it, without avoiding it, and most importantly, without running away. It will be simple, but it will move you. Don't expect something grand or theatrical. It won't be about expensive gifts or exaggerated gestures. It will be something so real, so sincere, that precisely because of this, it will be impossible to ignore. Maybe it's a look, a touch, or a few words spoken at the exact moment, the type of gesture that at first glance may seem small but carries a gigantic emotional weight. This person knows you. She knows what makes you smile, what makes you uncomfortable, what gives you strength when you think you have nothing left to offer. And it is precisely because of this that what she is going to do will be so spot on. Because it won't be something generic, something that anyone could do. It will be something only she can do, because only she knows you this way. And when this happens, you won't need explanations, because the heart recognizes what is true. Even if your mind tries to deny it, even if you try to rationalize it, deep down, you will feel it. You will feel that this is real, that this is pure, and that it is something worth accepting. You can try to understand, but love doesn't need to make sense. This gesture that is about to come does not have a clear logic. It is not something that can be put into simple words, because love, when it's true, goes beyond what we can explain. It does not follow rules. It does not meet expectations. It simply is. And that can be confusing. Maybe you feel a mix of emotions that you don't know how to deal with. Maybe you feel vulnerable, exposed, as if you are being seen in a way that no one else has seen you before. But that's okay. This confusion is part of it, because it is in this chaos that love finds space to grow. The point here is not to try to understand the why or the how. The point is to accept. Accept that sometimes life offers us something we did not ask for, but that in some way is exactly what we need. Accept that you deserve to be loved, even with your imperfections, even with your fears. And if you think you're not ready, she knows you are. Maybe you are afraid of not living up to it. Maybe you think you are not enough. not up to this love. But this person who knows you so well sees something in you that maybe you haven't seen yet. She sees your qualities, your strengths, what makes you unique. But more than that, she sees beyond your flaws. She knows you are human, that you have bad days, that you make mistakes, that you carry scars, and yet she chose you, not despite your imperfections, but because of them. Because that's what makes you who you are. So when that moment arrives, trust in that. Trust in the fact that even if you don't feel ready, she believes you are. And deep down, she knows this gesture will reach you. Because no matter how much you try to hide or avoid it, true love always finds a way. You don't need to return it now, you just need to feel it. What this person is going to do is not about asking for something in return. It's not about forcing a response or expecting you to say the right words. It's about giving, just giving. Because true love is that, an act of giving, without expectations, without conditions. But that doesn't mean you won't have a role in this moment. You will. Your role will be to be present. Not physically, but emotionally. It will be to allow this gesture to touch you. It will be to make space within yourself to feel, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's scary. And if at first all you can do is take a deep breath and let the moment happen, that will be enough, because love doesn't need haste, it only needs openness. And over time, you'll realize that this gesture, as simple as it may seem, planted a seed within you. A seed that will grow, even if you don't notice it immediately. Nothing will be the same. After this happens, something will change. It won't be something drastic or immediate, but it will be real. You will start to look at this person differently. You will begin to notice details that previously went unnoticed. You will perceive the depth of what they feel for you, and that in itself will be transformative. But more than that, you will start to look at yourself differently. You will begin to question the barriers you've built, the defenses you've raised. You will start to wonder why it's so hard to simply accept love. And little by little, these questions will lead you to something bigger. This gesture that is coming is not the end of a journey. It is the beginning of something new, something that has the potential to change not just how you relate to this person, but how you relate to yourself, because deep down that's what love does. It reconnects us with who we truly are. You don't need to say anything now, you just need to be there. When the moment comes, do not worry about the words. Don't try to find the right thing to say or do. Just be present, be open. Let her gesture reach you without trying to control or understand. And if all you can do is look into her eyes and let her see what you feel, it will already be enough. Because for her, what matters is not what you say. What matters is that you are there with an open heart, ready to receive what she has to offer. It may still be hard to believe, but you were chosen by this person. Not by chance, not for convenience. She chose you because in her heart you are someone worthwhile. It doesn't matter what you carry from the past, the mistakes you think you've made, or the insecurities you try to hide. To her, all of this is part of what makes you unique. And that is why she's willing to expose herself, to face her own fears, to show how special you are. When that gesture happens, and it will happen, remember that it's not about the magnitude of what will be done, but about the emotional weight it carries. It's not about grandiosity, but about sincerity. About someone who decided to love you, not just with words but with actions. And from that moment you will have a choice, to accept or ignore. But before deciding, stop and think. Think about what it means for someone to love you like this, without reservations, without conditions, without expecting anything in return. Think about what this says about you, about who you are, and about the space you occupy in that person's life. You don't need to give an immediate response. You don't need to reciprocate equally or make promises that you're not sure you can keep. All you need to do is be present. Allow this to touch you and maybe, just maybe, let something change within you. Because in the end, that's what love does. It changes us. Now I want to know from you, what would you do if someone made such a sincere declaration? Are you ready to accept such a love even if it means stepping out of your comfort zone? Leave your answer in the comments. I really want to know what you think. And of course, if you connected with this message, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We have many more reflections like this, and your participation is essential for us to continue bringing content that touches the heart. Oh, and share this video with someone you know needs to hear this. It might be that the gesture of love that person is waiting for comes from you. Thank you for being here. Let's go on this journey of discoveries together.